after the birth of my daughter, I developed postpartum depression due to anxiety about child rearing. And to the root cause was my husband, Parker, being extremely uncooperative with household chores and childcare. Well, he did take care of me for a while. Once I recovered, he prioritized his hobbies and installed a home sauna. Be concerned about our child's safety. I posed the sauna, but Parker, in a fit of rage, locked me in the sauna before leaving for a business trip.
This is punishment for making me care for you.
I managed to escape from the sauna and was determined to retaliate thoroughly against Parker's cruel treatment. My retaliation left him trembling in fear when he returned from his business trip. My name is Stella Thompson. I'm a 33-year-old company employee. Parker, who's 3 years older than me, was my colleague, and we married 5 years ago. We finally conceived our first child this year. Kristen, being a first-time mother in my 30s, brought happiness, but also health concerns. Wanting to be cautious. It was frustrating that Parker, absorbed in his hobbies, didn't help with household chores. Parker's hobby is weight training. He's a health fanatic. Thus, when a contagious disease outbreak occurred 3 years ago, preventing him from going to the gym, he installed fitness equipment at home. While it's a healthy hobby, our small apartment feels cramped with exercise bars, stepping machines, multiple cans of his protein supplements in the cabinet, and a fridge full of high-protein chicken. We moved into this apartment complex after getting married, where we live among familiar colleagues and seniors. In these tough economic times, many neighbors are dual-income couples. I often see male colleagues doing household chores like taking out the trash or grocery shopping. Seeing this, I couldn't help but compare them to Parker, who wouldn't even do the smallest household chore. One day, a colleague of Parker saw me struggling with shopping bags while pregnant and helped me. The next day, Parker came home looking confused and said, "A colleague at work told me today that I've been bossing you around." I replied, "We both work, so I need your help with household chores."
Why didn't say so earlier? I didn't know. It's exhausting having to tell you everything.
A colleague said the same, that I won't do anything unless told. It seemed my husband was hit more by what his co-worker, also a man, said to him than I, his wife, and from that day on, he started doing the grocery shopping and taking out the garbage. Thank you. It's a big relief. I expressed my gratitude to Parker. And so, with Parker's assistance, I was able to start my maternity leave in the 8th month of pregnancy. I thanked him the day he brought home heavy drinks. I appreciate it, especially with my pregnancy making it hard to carry things.
And words. I'll help out properly until you give birth.
Hearing this, I questioned, wait, just until birth? Postpartum is even harder.
Wait, just until birth? Postpartum is even harder.
Parker stiffened his face in response to my spontaneous words.
Oh, wait. Do you expect me to do household chores even after the birth?
I realized Parker had a major misunderstanding. He thought he only needed to help while I was pregnant. I explained Postpartum is when the baby will need constant care, so I'll need help with more than just grocery shopping and taking out the trash. When he heard that, he yelled at me.
I never agreed to that. Sure, if taking care of a baby is that hard, no one would be able to do it.
He tits to his words, so unfit for a soon-to-be father, gave me a terrible headache and immense stress. We should be supporting each other because it's hard. You always run away saying you didn't know.
I'm running away. That's on you for not explaining things beforehand. I've been cutting back on gym time to hell with household chores.
Just when I thought Parker was becoming cooperative with household chores, it turned out he only intended it to be temporary. A few days later, my pregnancy progressed faster than expected, and I gave birth at a hospital. A baby girl was premature and had to be admitted to the NICU. During this time, Parker did show concern and visited me daily in the hospital.
How are you feeling? Not ready to be discharged yet.
I'll be out this week, but our baby can't come home yet.
That's all right. That's the most important thing is for you to get better. I'm relying on you.
You're right. I'll do my best. After getting discharged first, I delivered breast milk to the hospital daily and visited our daughter in the incubator. A few days later, I lost the energy to do household chores or cooking. That's the house became a mess, and I couldn't get up even when Parker returned from work. He blamed me.
Hey, why are you always sleeping? This is a mess, and there's no dinner for me.
I replied weakly, I'm sorry. I wanted to move, but just couldn't find the motivation. Despite my condition, I continued to deliver breast milk to the hospital, postponing meals and baths. This is a nurse, noticing my disheveled state, suggested I see a psychiatrist. He said my guilt for giving birth prematurely and anxiety about future childcare gradually took a toll on my mental health. Tell Parker that I was diagnosed with postpartum depression by the psychiatrist. Due to that, he responded,
Postpartum depression. Isn't that from childcare stress? You're relaxing well, as what hospital takes care of our child. How can you be depressed?
Unable to understand my condition. Parker bombarded me with questions. He thought I was taking it easy because our daughter was hospitalized. Overwhelmed with sadness, I began to wish I could disappear. But then a certain event changed these miserable days. One day, I was informed by my boss that Parker was advised to meet with the company's occupational physician. The reason was his ignorance about my condition. I was enrolled in the company's benefit society and had submitted paperwork for maternity leave and my psychiatrist's diagnosis. And my boss, learning about my health, confronted Parker, who complained that I was neglecting household chores while our child was hospitalized. My boss scolded him for his lack of understanding about postpartum depression and his attitude toward childcare, and advised him to get guidance from the physician. After meeting with the physician, Parker realized his ignorance about postpartum depression and childcare. He stopped blaming me for not doing household chores. He said to me, I realize now that my attitude has been causing you anxiety. I'm sorry. Just understanding that means a lot to me. Thank you. And from then on, if I couldn't get up, Parker would bring home ready meals or takeout and clumsily but earnestly helped with household chores. Eventually, as my health improved and I resumed household chores and cooking, Parker no longer needed to care for me. He told me he felt relieved he could leave without worry for his 4-day business trip planned. Our daughter's health was improving, her weight exceeding 4.4 lbs, and it was decided she could soon be discharged, which delighted me. However, before Parker's trip, I encountered an astonishing sight. When I returned from the hospital, Parker had already taken a half-day off and was home. In our 2-bedroom apartment, I was stunned to see a large, unfamiliar closet-like structure. He said with a smile, "How is this?" I set up a home sauna. It's great, right? What I thought was a closet turned out to be a home sauna with an internal heater. The sauna had been installed in one whole room, moving Parker's fitness equipment to the other room. A sauna? Why would you get that? I asked with a hoarse voice, and he said, for maintaining health, obviously. Maintaining health? Yeah, I've been losing strength from helping with household chores and taking care of you. Oh, sir, komplett. I decided to focus on getting healthy at home. I knew Parker was a health fanatic, but I was shocked he made such a large purchase without consulting me. I told Parker a sauna is dangerous for a child, and we can't put a newborn in a room cluttered with your fitness equipment. Parker retorted bitterly, "You just need to be careful. It'll be fine if you keep it tidy." Hearing this, I became enraged and shouted, "We haven't even bought a crib or baby essentials yet, and you bought a sauna? Please return it." Then, Parker, with a demonic look, lunged at me. "No way. I don't let you do that." He grabbed me and threw me into the sauna, then quickly shut the door. Caught off guard, I crouched inside the sauna, momentarily dazed. Soon, the sauna's heater turned on, rapidly increasing the temperature. I screamed, "Oh, it's hot. Help me."
I screamed, it's hot. Help me.
I tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. Desperately, I began pounding on it. Achings. Parker's voice came through.
Shut up. Oh, you break the sauna. All right, promise to stay quiet and I'll turn off the heater.
Okay, I'll be quiet. Please turn off the heater.
Not yet. I won't turn it off until you truly reflect.
Reflect on what? I was thinking of our daughter.
As my throat dried and my voice faded, I collapsed to the floor. Finally, the heater turned off.
Seems like you've reflected, but it's not enough. Reflect there while I'm on my business trip. This is your punishment for making me take care of you.
Parker left home after saying that over his shoulder, and he went on his business trip. After he left, I tried again to open the sauna door, but it seemed blocked from the outside. Looking up in despair, I saw only a small sliding ventilation window. In frustration, I climbed onto the sauna's bench and punched the ceiling, dislodging a panel. It turned out the home sauna, while sturdy at the door, was an easy-to-assemble model. I lifted the side wall, which easily came off from its floor slot, allowing me to escape. Outside the door, Parker's pull-up bar had been used as a brace to keep it shut. Relieved to have escaped, I was simultaneously filled with intense anger towards him. Then an idea for revenge struck me. I muttered,
I won't let this slide.
4 days later, I prepared something for Parker's return. I reassembled the sauna as it was when I was locked in, placed an item inside, and turned on the heater. Additionally, I bought a pet camera that could transmit to my smartphone and set it up to view inside the room. But sure, when Parker returned and opened the front door, his frozen figure appeared on my phone. He must have been hit by the stench of the heated sauna. In a panic, he moved the pull-up bar and started yelling at the sauna door.
Stella, are you okay? Are you Osrios?
He kept opening the door and quickly closing it again, seemingly too terrified to look inside. Parker probably thought I was decayed inside the sauna and was too terrified to look. Now, I had evidence of him locking me in the sauna. I opened the front door of our apartment and greeted him.
Welcome home.
Yikes.
Just when Parker realized it was me, he collapsed to the ground, starting to chant in shock.
Oh my god. Am I seeing her ghost?
You're really pathetic.
Parker looked up at me in surprise and then saw my colleagues from our apartment complex standing behind me. I had explained the situation to them, and we were all watching Parker's actions on my smartphone. My colleagues initially suspected my claims were due to delusions from postpartum depression, but they believed me when they heard Parker shouting my name at the sauna. Parker, wide-eyed, muttered,
Stella, are you alive? Then let's this rotten smell.
I told him, I stuffed your protein and chicken into the sauna. That's the smell.
What? My health foods.
As he was complaining, our colleagues began to angrily confront him.
Hey, do you realize what you've done, Parker? What you did was a crime. Surrounded by their accusations, Parker became flustered.
No, I didn't mean it like that. It's just supposed to be a small punishment.
He had an excuse like that, which only made our colleagues angrier. I coldly told him, I've already moved my things to my parents' house. We'll handle the rest through lawyers.
Oh, what? Alerts. What's that?
For our divorce discussions, of course.
I didn't hear about that.
I yelled back at him in his usual way. What are you talking about? You're the only one who thinks we wouldn't get divorced in this situation.
Well,
Parker was silenced by my firm stance. Iteration, I thanked the colleagues who stood by me and left Parker behind as I returned to my parents' home. A few days later, amidst taking care of my daughter who was discharged from the hospital, I was informed by my lawyer that the divorce negotiations were becoming difficult. Parker, blamed by colleagues and even his boss for the sauna incident, was furious with me. Determined not to let his behavior affect my mental health and hinder childcare. I refused to make any concessions in the divorce. Fortunately, my in-laws persuaded Parker. He agreed to pay $37,000 in compensation for his actions and $500 a month for our daughter's child support until she reaches adulthood, resulting in an amicable divorce. Afterwards, Parker was transferred to a manufacturing branch under our company. I heard from a colleague that this movie, influenced by our boss, was to facilitate my return to work after maternity leave. This physical separation from Parker helped me regain peace of mind and well-being. My daughter is growing strong despite her small size at birth. Despite the ongoing busy days, I'm determined to keep us both healthy and happy.